On April 4, 2025, the entertainment world was shaken when British comedian, actor, and media personality Russell Brand was formally charged with serious sexual offences. The 50-year-old entertainer now faces 1 count of rape, 1 count of indecent assault, 1 count of oral rape, and 2 counts of sexual assault. These charges relate to alleged incidents involving 4 different women between 1999 and 2005, during Brand's rise to prominence in the UK entertainment industry. The case represents a dramatic turn for a figure who transformed himself from a controversial British comedian to Hollywood actor, and more recently to an online personality with millions of followers. Brand, once known primarily for his flamboyant style and provocative humor, now finds himself at the center of one of the most serious criminal cases involving a celebrity in recent years. This case emerged following a joint investigation by respected British media outlets The Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4's Dispatches program in September 2023. The allegations have prompted both criminal proceedings and institutional reviews within the British broadcasting organisations where Brand worked during the period in question. As the legal process unfolds, the case raises important questions about accountability, power dynamics in entertainment, and the handling of sexual misconduct allegations. The public first learned of the allegations against Brand in September 2023, when The Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4's Dispatches aired a documentary titled, Russell Brand, in Plain Sight. This investigative report featured accounts from several women who accused Brand of sexual assaults and emotional abuse during a period spanning from 2006 to 2013, years when Brand was working for major British broadcasters and appearing in Hollywood films. Among the most disturbing allegations was an account from a woman who claimed she was just 16 years old, the age of consent in the UK, when she began a relationship with Brand, who was 30 at the time. She alleged this relationship included both abuse and sexual assault. These initial public allegations prompted immediate action from law enforcement authorities. The Metropolitan Police began a formal investigation shortly after the documentary aired. Detectives interviewed Brand multiple times in the months that followed, gathering evidence and statements related to the alleged incidents. By November 2024, the investigation had progressed significantly, with the Crown Prosecution Service confirming that detectives had forwarded an evidence file regarding sexual offence allegations against Brand for review. During this investigative period, several institutions connected to Brand conducted their own internal reviews. Production company Banijay UK, which had acquired the company that produced some of Channel 4's shows featuring Brand, uncovered that informally raised concerns about Brand's behaviour while working on several programs were not properly escalated or adequately addressed. This finding raised serious questions about workplace culture and accountability during that period. Channel 4's separate investigation found no evidence that staff were aware of the specific accusations contained in the Dispatches program. Meanwhile, a BBC review published in January 2025 revealed that a number of people felt unable to raise concerns about the presenter during his time at the corporation. These findings painted a troubling picture of how complaints about high-profile talent were handled across British broadcasting institutions. After months of investigation, the Metropolitan Police announced on April 4, 2025, that Russell Brand had been charged with multiple serious sexual offences. The charges were detailed in a formal statement by the police and Crown Prosecution Service, providing specific information about the nature and timeline of the alleged incidents. In 1999, Brand is accused of raping a woman in the Bournemouth area of England. In 2001, he allegedly indecently assaulted a woman in the Westminster area of London. In 2004, Brand is accused of orally raping and sexually assaulting a woman in Westminster, London. Between 2004 and 2005, he allegedly sexually assaulted another woman, also in Westminster, London. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will bring you more videos featuring the most shocking true crime stories. These charges cover a period when Brand was establishing himself in British entertainment but before he achieved international fame. At this time, Brand was working as a stand-up comedian and beginning to gain recognition on British television, including hosting shows on MTV UK and Channel 4. The Metropolitan Police formally charged Brand by post, as he is currently believed to be residing in Florida, United States. They also issued a court summons requiring him to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on May 2, 2025. This method of charging is standard procedure when a suspect may be overseas. Jaswant Narwal, a barrister and prosecutor at the Crown Prosecution Service, issued a significant statement regarding the charges. We have today authorized the Metropolitan Police to charge Russell Brand with a number of sexual offences. We carefully reviewed the evidence after a police investigation into allegations made following the broadcast of a Channel 4 documentary in September 2023. We have concluded that Russell Brand should be charged with offences including rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault. The statement emphasized the importance of allowing due process. The Crown Prosecution Service reminds everyone that criminal proceedings are active, and the defendant has the right to a fair trial. It is extremely important that there be no reporting, commentary, or sharing of information online which could in any way prejudice these proceedings. The charging of Brand represents just the beginning of what could be a lengthy legal process. If Brand attends the scheduled court appearance on May 2, he will likely face a formal reading of the charges against him. In cases involving serious sexual offences, the initial magistrate's court appearance typically serves to establish identity and address preliminary matters before the case is referred to the Crown Court for trial. Given Brand's current residence in the United States, there are procedural considerations regarding his appearance in a UK court. In such situations, prosecutors typically seek to agree on the defendant's voluntary return to face charges. If cooperation is not forthcoming, British authorities have the option to pursue extradition proceedings, though this can be a complex and time-consuming process. It's worth noting that in February 2025, prior to these criminal charges, a separate civil case for personal injury and sexual abuse had been lodged against Brand at the High Court in London by an anonymous woman, referred to in court documents as AGX. This parallel civil proceeding adds another dimension to the legal challenges Brand now faces. The charges against Brand carry potentially severe penalties under UK law. In England and Wales, rape and oral rape, legally classified as rape, carry a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, though actual sentences vary widely based on the specific circumstances of each case. Sexual assault and indecent assault also carry significant penalties, potentially including several years of imprisonment. Throughout both the investigation and following the announcement of charges, Brand has consistently denied any wrongdoing. In a video posted to social media prior to the publication of the initial allegations in September 2023, Brand preemptively disputed what he called very serious allegations, insisting that all his sexual relationships had been absolutely always consensual. After the criminal charges were announced on April 4, 2025, Brand released another video statement on X, formerly Twitter, maintaining his innocence. What I never was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. He added, I'm now going to have the opportunity to defend these charges in court and I'm incredibly grateful for that. This statement suggests Brand intends to contest the charges through the legal system rather than seeking any form of plea arrangement. Brand's current location in the United States has raised questions about whether he intends to return voluntarily to the UK to face the charges. In recent months, he has claimed to be attacked and shut down by British authorities, potentially positioning his move to America as a response to perceived persecution rather than an attempt to avoid legal proceedings. Just days before the charges were announced, Brand was seen at a record reveal party for Christian worship singer Brandon Lake in Charleston, South Carolina. During this appearance, he spoke about his recent conversion to Christianity and being baptized in the River Thames by TV adventurer Bear Grylls in April 2024. Brand remarked, I can feel that there is a lot of change and a lot of transformation and I feel blessed to be in a community of people that are able to hold this incredible amount of change. This spiritual transformation represents one of several significant shifts in Brand's public persona in recent years. Once known for his left-wing political views in the UK, having endorsed Labour leader Ed Miliband in the 2015 general election, Brand has more recently aligned himself with conservative figures, including appearing with Donald Trump Jr. and expressing support for former President Donald Trump. To understand the full context of these allegations and charges, it's important to consider Brand's career trajectory. Born in Essex, England, in 1975, Brand first gained attention as a stand-up comedian in the early 2000s before breaking through to mainstream recognition as the host of Big Brother's Big Mouth, a companion show to the popular reality series, Big Brother. Brand's career accelerated rapidly as he became one of the UK's most sought-after presenters, hosting events including the Enemy Awards, MTV ceremonies, and the Brit Awards. Between 2006 and 2008, he hosted shows on BBC Radio 6 Music and later BBC Radio 2, where his irreverent style attracted a devoted following but also led to controversy. The most notorious incident from this period occurred in 2008, when Brand and fellow presenter Jonathan Ross made a series of inappropriate phone calls to veteran actor Andrew Sachs during a BBC Radio 2 broadcast. The scandal, which became known as Saxgate, led to Brand's resignation from the BBC, the departure of the Radio 2 controller, and Ross's suspension from broadcasting. The regulatory body Ofcom later fined the BBC £150,000, describing the phone calls as gratuitously offensive, humiliating and demeaning. Following this controversy, Brand shifted his career toward Hollywood, starring in films including Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, and a remake of Arthur. During this period, he also had a high-profile relationship with American pop star Katy Perry, whom he married in October 2010 in India. The marriage lasted only 14 months before Brand announced their separation. In recent years, Brand's career has undergone significant transformations. As opportunities in mainstream media declined, he pivoted to online platforms, building substantial followings across YouTube, 6.8 million subscribers, X, 11.3 million followers, and Instagram, 4.8 million followers. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Brand regularly addressed topics related to alleged misinformation and positioned himself as a vaccine skeptic. His content increasingly featured discussions challenging mainstream narratives about various social and political issues, often amplifying alternative viewpoints and conspiracy theories. Throughout their statements regarding the Brand case, the Metropolitan Police have emphasized their commitment to supporting the women who have come forward with allegations. Detective Superintendent Andy Furphy, who is leading the investigation, stated, "The women who have made reports continue to receive support from specially trained officers." The Met's investigation remains open and detectives ask anyone who has been affected by this case, or anyone who has any information, to come forward and speak with police. The police have established a dedicated team of investigators accessible via email at cit@met.police.uk and have highlighted that support services are available through independent organizations like Crisis. This approach reflects a recognition of the sensitivity of such cases and the potential for additional victims or witnesses to come forward following the public announcement of charges. Cases involving allegations of sexual violence, particularly those against high-profile individuals, can have significant impacts on survivors of similar experiences. Crisis centers and support organizations often report increases in contacts following major media coverage of sexual violence cases, as people may be triggered by the coverage or inspired to seek help with their own experiences. The public nature of cases involving celebrities also presents unique challenges for complainants, who may face intense scrutiny and sometimes backlash from fans or supporters of the accused. This reality underscores the importance of maintaining strict legal protections for complainants in sexual offense cases, including anonymity provisions under UK law that prohibit the publication of information that might identify victims of sexual offences. The allegations against Brand have prompted significant responses from the institutions where he worked during the relevant periods. Following the September 2023 documentary, both Channel 4 and the BBC launched reviews of Brand's time at their organisations. Channel 4's investigation concluded there was no evidence that staff were aware of the specific accusations contained in the Dispatches programme. However, a separate investigation by Banijay UK, which had acquired the company that produced several Channel 4 shows featuring Brand, found that informally raised concerns about his behaviour were not properly escalated or adequately addressed. The BBC's review, published in January 2025, revealed that multiple people felt unable to raise concerns about Brand during his time at the corporation. These findings suggest systematic issues in how complaints about high-profile talent were handled across British broadcasting institutions, raising important questions about workplace culture, power dynamics, and accountability mechanisms within the entertainment industry. These institutional responses reflect broader societal changes in how allegations of sexual misconduct are handled. In the wake of the #MeToo movement, which gained momentum in 2017, many organizations have reassessed their policies and practices regarding workplace behavior, reporting mechanisms, and investigations of misconduct allegations. The Brand case demonstrates both progress in addressing such allegations and ongoing challenges in creating truly safe and accountable workplace environments. The charges against Brand have generated significant public attention and media coverage, reflecting both his celebrity status and the serious nature of the allegations. Coverage has appeared across major news outlets in the UK and internationally, with publications carefully navigating the legal restrictions that apply to reporting on active criminal proceedings. Public reactions have been mixed, with some expressing shock and disappointment, others voicing support for Brand, and many emphasizing the importance of allowing the legal process to unfold properly. On social media platforms, discussions have often broken down along familiar lines, with some focusing on the presumption of innocence while others highlight the importance of taking sexual violence allegations seriously. The case has also reignited discussions about cancel culture and accountability for public figures accused of misconduct. Brand himself has previously framed the allegations against him as part of attempts to silence his voice on controversial topics, a narrative that resonates with portions of his audience who view him as challenging establishment perspectives. Media ethics experts have noted the challenges of reporting on such cases, particularly given Brand's current residence in the United States, where press freedoms and restrictions differ from those in the UK. British media must adhere to strict contempt of court laws that limit reporting which might prejudice active legal proceedings, restrictions that do not apply in the same way to US-based publications or social media platforms. As the case moves forward, several key dates and processes will shape its progression. The scheduled court appearance on May 2, 2025, at Westminster Magistrates Court represents the next significant milestone. During this hearing, the charges will be formally presented, and initial procedural matters will be addressed. Given the serious nature of the charges, the case will likely be referred to the Crown Court for trial. Before any trial, there would typically be a series of preliminary hearings to address evidence, legal arguments, and trial preparation. In complex cases involving multiple charges and complainants, this pre-trial phase can extend over months. If Brand contests the charges, as his public statements suggest he intends to, the case will ultimately proceed to trial. During a Crown Court trial, a jury would hear evidence presented by both prosecution and defense before rendering verdicts on each count. This process can be lengthy, particularly in sensitive cases involving multiple complainants and allegations spanning several years. Throughout this process, various legal protections will apply. The complainants will maintain their legal right to anonymity, while Brand will benefit from the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. The court will also likely impose reporting restrictions to ensure the integrity of the proceedings. The charges against Russell Brand represent more than just another celebrity scandal. They reflect significant shifts in how society addresses allegations of sexual misconduct, particularly those involving powerful individuals in the entertainment industry. The case demonstrates both progress in the willingness of institutions to investigate such allegations and the challenges that remain in holding powerful figures accountable. As with any criminal case, it is essential to remember that Brand is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The charges against him represent allegations that must be tested through proper legal processes, with both prosecution and defense having the opportunity to present their cases.
If you enjoy deep dives into true crime, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Until next time, friends!